Okay, sup you chuckle fucks, it's your boy Dark Raku here with What If Issei Change for the better. I don't know. Okay, you see here, let me think of the title later, but for right now, it's pretty much what if Issei just changed? What if he changed after the training with Tani? But not the point. So pretty much he is going to act a little bit like similar to Kenpachi Zaraki, but not the point. He's not the reincarnation of Zaraki Kenpachi. He is similar to that of might be kind of bloodthirsty half the time, but not much. But not the point. So let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. Also, I should mention one thing. I did not record yesterday, even though yesterday I wanted to record a what if, but I forgot about it, and now I'm here to record another what if. Because yeah. Also, my fucking legs hurt. My legs hurt. My whole body hurts. And I don't know why I'm fucking standing. Why I should be fucking laying down and resting. Because I basically had work this morning and I only got like 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, go me. Had to be driving for like a couple of hours, but not the point. Yeah, I hate driving on the fucking freeway when you're fucking only having 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, good fucking, yeah. But luckily I had music on my earbud. Luckily my dad doesn't say shit no more. Like, he probably would have been saying shit like, you should not be hearing music while fucking driving. I don't give a damn. I only got 3 hours of sleep. Let me fucking hear music while fucking driving. I don't care and what happens next. Luckily everything went fine. I mean, I started doing this since mostly when I was like 19 or much younger, but not the point. I just didn't care no more. Like, fuck sakes, I didn't care at all. But not the point. So yeah, I should stop rambling on. Sorry about rambling on. But let me just begin this what if, and let me shut the fuck up, and let me just begin. Okay, so we begin into mostly, well, into a battle, or well, not battle. It was mostly a brownish haired boy right now running away from a giant purple dragon with golden horns. This is where, well, the brownish haired boy is right now running like hell and trying to get away from the giant dragon. This is where he cannot use the boosted gear, which he would ask D-Drake for help, but then again, D-Drake kind of refused him to not use the boosted gear and to kind of just mostly train up and like get ready to fight Tawny just using his bare hands and using little as magic as he can. Just a little magic. Because mostly this person has zero magic control, which he doesn't even have a good magic capacity. But because he's not a mage, he's literally was thrown into the fucking supernatural world, and just because of Ria's kind of being selfish and wanted to get out of an arranged marriage. But yeah, which a brown haired boy right now just was happy to help her out, kinda, but not much. But of course, we go into mostly the purple dragon right now keeps sending fireballs straight to the brown haired boy. Of course, where, well, the brown haired boy was launched into a forest, and this is where, well, the purple dragon says, okay, he say, I will let you come back over here just to see you're not dead. I mean, I can sense where you're at, but I want to attack you. You just have to climb the mountain and come back over here and, well, we go on with round 2, or I'll let you just kind of have a break. If you're not up here by the next couple of minutes, and I will keep shooting fireballs at you. The brown haired boy, now known as Issei, is right now groggling and groaning. Of course, where, well, he's trying to get up, and this is where, well, he feels really hurt. He feels also really weak because the fact that he has been running since fucking morning, at waking up at 5 in the morning, and fucking running for like 5 hours. So it's been like, not 5 hours, at least like 7 hours. He's been running away. This is really not training for him, actually. This is mostly if he can survive his fucking life with the dragon. And a dragon tsundere that seems not wanting to actually train him at all. So yeah, there's 2 fucking dragons annoying him. Of course, it was literally fucking, well, a fallen angel governor's fucking plan of fucking training. Which Issei does not understand why. He could be getting help in his magic capacity. He could be getting help in his fucking swordsman learn. He could be getting helping in any fucking way, but no. What he's trying to be trained on is how to fucking survive, how not to fucking die by a dragon who's literally, I don't know, fucking ultimate class at this point. Mostly Issei hasn't learned the rankings, but who really cares? This is where, well, Issei's groaning because he heard taunting what he said, and of course, this is where Issei is starting to walk up until he noticed something shiny at the corner of his eye. This is where, well, it wasn't shiny, it was something white, somewhat. This is where, well, it looked like to be a sword, but the sword is covered up in bandages. Of course, it had this golden or brass kind of tint color to it, mostly as a handle, or not handle, mostly the guard. And this is where, well, he got kind of curious. So instead of kind of listening to Tawny's orders, he decides to kind of go up to the sword. The sword was covered up on all in bandages. It looked to be kind of, well, not rusted, but just looks to have been here for like a long ass time. And like no one decides to ever pick up the sword. This is where, well, Issei had a good idea in his head because he was thinking in his head about swordsman training. And of course, since he needs to kind of use the boosted gear to summon out Ascalon to sword train, but right now, Diedrich is refusing to let him use Ascalon or even fucking use anything. He just thought of, maybe I can use this as a sword training. Yeah. This is where, well, he decides to grab the sword, and this is where, well, he felt full. For some reason, for always in his entire life, he felt very half. He didn't feel like he was like a whole person. Like, he didn't feel like he was a whole soul. But for some reason, when he grabbed the sword, he felt like he felt different. He felt more mature, less perverted. At the same time, he felt very different. But he was still perverted, but not the point. This is where, well, he started kind of just swinging the sword around because when he unsheathed it, this is where the sword was basically a sword that was jagged as hell. This is where, well, he swings it around and it seems to cut mostly wood pretty easily, even though the sword has been here for however many years, but it can easily cut. It's not dull at all. It's still sharp, very sharp. Actually, if the sword would have managed to kind of cut probably devil like skin or even dragon skin, it probably would have just cut through it easily like fucking butter. For some reason, the sword seems to get sharper over time. Like every time he just swings it around, he just looks like the sword just gets sharper and sharper every single time. This is where, well, he also felt very weird, like his body started reacting to the sword. Of course, well, for some reason he felt like someone was calling upon him, but it wasn't Diedrich, so of course he decides to ignore it. This is where, well, he decides to kind of go up to Tawny and start kind of like going up there, but yeah. This is where, well, he felt like the wound and the tiredness around his body started kind of fading away after a while. He felt like he was just different. This is where, well, he decides to keep walking up there, and this is where, well, when we go up towards mostly Issei getting back up, he was already tired. Well, he wasn't tired. He wasn't that winded. He felt fine. And this is where Tawny says, it seems that the hatchling has came back. And it seems you brought a stick. Oh, stick with bandages. Don't worry about that. If you're really wanting to learn about swordsman training, we can do that later. But first, you still gotta be dodging attacks. This is where, well, mostly he says, what about my... Oh, you're resting? Well, I thought of mostly, it would take too long, so I would just rather shoot fireballs at you. This is where Issei said, wait, what? This is where, well, mostly Tawny starts shooting fireballs at him. This is where Issei widened his eyes, but for some reason, instead of dodging the fireballs or running away, he took them head on. This is where, well, when he gets hit by them, he felt like he actually enjoyed it. He enjoyed getting hit by it because for some reason, he's not a masochist, of course, but of course, for some reason, he felt very right getting hit by the attack. And if he gets hit by the attack, he should send a very much more powerful attack. So, of course, what he does is unsheathe the sword, and this is where, well, the sword started glowing with this yellowish, very, what's it called, like, yellow energy. But of course, it felt like death itself was on the sword. This is where, well, Issei grins like a madman with the sword, mostly the fireball, right now dissipates. And this is where, well, mostly burn and other things because Tani really thought that Issei might have ran away and like dodged or something. But no, what he saw is Issei right now having the sword right now in front of him. And this is where a yellowish glowish energy appeared behind Issei. Right now showing this like skull right now appeared behind Issei. Issei's eyes right now glow with such a very ferocious yellow color, and this is where, well, Issei had a widened, evilish, just vicious grin appear on his face. His body was burnt and like mostly skin was burnt, but this is where it was getting kind of like healed for no other reason than he either kind of like awakened some kind of healing factor. But this is where Issei says, this is where, well, he did kind of grab the sword with both hands, and this is where he just swings it down, and this is where Tani, all he just felt was a huge ass slash to his torso because this dragon is tall as hell, but he just gets a huge slash and he just gets thrown into fucking trees after that. This is where, well, Issei felt very tired after that. This is where he kind of used the sword as mostly like a, like what's it called, a cane, to stop himself from actually falling down. He right now grabbed his chest and felt very tired. He felt like he wasn't supposed to do something like that until he became whole. But for some reason, he started feeling unconscious. He started kind of going unconscious. He felt right now forced and kind of got knocked out. This is where, well, right now Tani is right now trying to get up, but this is where he's actually losing good amounts of blood for actually getting hit by that sword. It wasn't even a Dragon Slayer weapon, and yet that sword ripped through him like a fucking, like literally butter versus a hot, like 10,000 knife degrees, yeah, mostly a 10,000 knife degree kind of weapon just cutting through butter. Like that shit went phew. But yeah. But other than that, mostly Tani just didn't understand what was that. It didn't feel like demonic energy. It didn't feel draconic energy neither. What it felt like, and this is the only time he ever felt it before, mostly he was in the, mostly what it felt like is when he was actually close to death. He was close to like the battle of when he was younger. He felt like every time he got in a battle, he always felt it. It's like aura around him trying to kill him because he was always close to death. But one time he was close to death by Cersei, and that's what it gave him. It gave him literally death feeling. Like literally that skull behind Issei gave him that fucking feeling of death. Like Issei was literally the fucking like vision, had the power of death with him and just wanted to kill Tani. But what he got scared even worse is when Issei got hit by the fireball directly. Instead of running or any of that, he had such a vicious grin and his eyes right now glowed yellow. Right now making Tani kind of scared. He was actually shook by that. This is where, well, sometimes he's never shook by anything, but the only time he's ever scared or shook is when he had to fight against Cersei. Other than that, that would be the only other person that he's scared about. He's not scared of Grace being much, but this is where, well, he's scared of this kid. This kid might have a bunch of potential within him. But he's also scared to actually try to release that potential. But it won't matter to the very end, though. Even if he doesn't help Issei unlock that potential, Issei will unlock it by himself. But Tani doesn't know this. He will know this later, but not the point. But we go into mostly a time skip, mostly about like a couple of hours passing by. Now we go into mostly Tani actually getting to the location where Issei was at, and found out that he's been knocked out for mostly 2 hours. He doesn't even know what happened. But we go into mostly before those 2 hours. We go into back into Issei's mindscape when he was actually knocked out. Mostly before 2 hours passed in the outside, it really didn't pass 2 hours in the inside of his mindscape. He wasn't even talking to G-Drake. What he was talking to and he was facing right now he was actually facing someone that was pretty shocking. This person had black spiky hair. Right now, like he had bells on his head. This is where, well, he had an eye patch, or, well, he didn't have black spiky hair and mostly bells. No, it was black, mostly black long hair with an eye patch that doesn't seem to be held by anything, just an eye patch there. He also had mostly this outfit of mostly Shinigami, but not the point. Yes, this is another Zaraki Kenpachi, but not the point. But yes, mostly the person does say that his name was Zaraki Kenpachi. Now, he didn't look like this, he looked mostly like this. He looked more like this Zaraki Kenpachi, mostly from the Thousand Blood War, but yeah. But yeah, that's how mostly he looks like the Thousand Blood War, like, was it called Zaraki Kampachi? Because it is literally Zaraki Kampachi, but not the point. But this is where, well, the person right now looks at mostly a brown haired boy who actually appeared right in front of him, and this is where, well, the person grins, seeing the sword beside Issei. This is where, well, Issei right now still has the sword in his hands, and for some reason he had the instinct to block an attack from mostly the huge, like, big buff man, because literally this dude was like tall as hell from Issei. Issei was literally 5'7", while this person was literally like 6. He's literally 6'6". Well, yeah, 6 feet 6. But this is where, well, he is tall. He's like taller than fucking Issei. Issei right now blocks a sword slash from mostly Zaraki. This is where, well, mostly Issei widened his eyes. He said, "Who are you?" This is where, well, Issei was getting pushed back, and he gets launched to mostly just this wall. And of course, mostly when he turns around, he just sees nothing but black. This is where Issei was confused. How did he just smash into a wall when there was absolutely nothing behind him? This is where, well, the person says, "You want to know who I am? Fine. It seems that you haven't actually known who I am. Even though I'm you, it seems that you have a different name from who I am." This is where, well, he says, "Who are you?" This is where, well, fine. Our original name is Zaraki Kampachi, or Kampachi Zaraki, doesn't matter how you say it. First name Zaraki, last name Kampachi, but who cares? It's been a while since I see my other half. This is where, well, Zaraki was walking towards mostly Issei. Issei says, "Other half? What are you talking about? Who are you?" It seems that you don't understand. I see. Okay, yeah, I understand now. So while I went to the Soul Reaper world and become one of the strongest, like, mostly Shinigamis that were there, basically becoming the 10th Division captain, you, on the other hand, stayed as a human. It seems that you were never full. You actually noticed that. But who really cares? I also knew that I was never a full soul, but instead a half Shinigami. Well, not half Shinigami, but half soul. And yet people still believe that I was a full, mostly the strongest Shinigami. Just they didn't notice that I wasn't a full soul, actually. No one knew about that. It's been a while to actually see my other half. This is where, well, right now he says, "What are you talking about? Who are you?" This is where, well, you really do not know who we are, do you? You are denser than I thought, and I thought I was dense, Zaraki said. This is where, well, right now making Issei confused and says, "What is this? Who are you? What is a sword? Why does it feel so familiar to me? What is happening?" This is where, well, making Issei right now confused. All he remembers was last that mostly he sent a huge slash attack straight towards mostly taunting, and of course after that he just passes out, but he doesn't remember. This is where, well, he only got like glimpses of that, because he wasn't the one actually fully took control of his body. It was someone else, and there was none other than Zaraki taking control. This is where, well, Issei says, "What exactly is happening here? Tell me." This is where, well, Zaraki says, "I'll tell you if you defeat me." This is where, well, Issei says, "What do you mean?" This is where he had to dodge a slash that was actually aimed to his head. This is where he managed to like duck down and swings his sword to try to hit the guy in the gut. This is where, well, the sword managed to like slash at mostly Zaraki's like chest, but of course Zaraki didn't care and decides to try to pierce the sword through mostly Issei's eye, which Issei managed to dodge. And this is where, well, he tries to block the sword with mostly the other sword. It seems that both of their swords seem to be the same length, the same kind of height, and the same kind of like weight and other things. It seems to be the same thing. But one thing is different from both of them. One has a much more powerful aura than the other one. This is where, well, mostly both of them are fighting. But this is where, well, Issei says, "Why are we fighting? Who are you anyway?" This is where Zaraki sighs and says, "You want to really know who I am? I told you who I am. You are basically my other half. And the reason why we're fighting is because..." Pretty much, he gave Issei the speech, mostly Zaraki, but yeah.
"This is a battle with swords, not some fist fight. As long as one of us is still breathing, then this fight's not over."
You're making this a fight to the death? Why? There's no reason!
You mean you need a reason to fight? Why don't you just accept it? You crave power, isn't that right? You enjoy fighting as much as I do. And anyone who truly loves power, loves to measure that power in battle. It's a simple fact. The question is, do we fight in order to gain more power, or do we gain more power in order to fight? I haven't figured it out yet. But who cares? Because one thing is for certain. There is no reason we should ever deny it or try to change, because we were born this way. You have always wanted to fight, and you always will. It's part of you. You do it instinctively. You have no choice but to fight. Because it's the only way to gain power. If you want to control that power, fight! Take your sword and cut down your enemies!
He basically gave Issei that speech to actually fight him. This is where, well, making Issei right now have this mostly glow in his eyes, yellowish glow in his eyes, while Zaraki grins and also had this glowish, mostly this glow in both of his eyes because he did take off the eye patch, showing this burst of power. But of course, Issei's power right now also rises to the same level as Zaraki. This is where, well, mostly Issei's, one of his eyes, well, of course, one of them was yellow, but the other one turned mostly this, like, silverish kind of bluish color for some reason. The one of his eyes went into a silverish blue color for a second. This is where, well, his sword that he was holding onto his hand right now started glowing with mostly this yellowish and bluish color. This is where, well, making Zaraki grin in an instant, while Issei also grinned with such a malicious grin. This is where both of them rush at each other, saying, "Bring it!" This is where, well, both of them rushes at each other, right now clashing with both blades at once. And this is where, well, they don't care. One of them managed to pierce at each other, which was mostly Zaraki piercing Issei near the chest and hitting him in one of his guts, while mostly Issei swings his sword and slashing mostly one of Zaraki's arms off. While both of them are fighting straight to the death, this is where, well, Issei says, "I won't lose, because I'll show everyone that I'm not a pathetic weakling that they knew before. I'll make everyone bow down to me. I'll fight whoever is the strongest, because that is truly my instinct, to show them that I'll conquer them just because they're nothing but a weakling to me." This is where almost Issei started kind of changing entirely. He started becoming a different person. Actually, was this supposedly happen, or was it supposed to not happen? But this is where Zaraki didn't care too much. He actually saw his other half right now starting to change. More like him, but of course a little bit different. This is where, well, both of them swings to each other, but this is where the sword right now kind of glowed into a reddish color. And of course, this is where an explosion happens. But this is where, well, something else happens. A fusion. This is where, well, two souls that have been separated for such a long time has now became one in together. This is where both of them right now kind of grin at each other. And of course, welcome each other to, well, becoming one once again. But we go into mostly a time skip of 2 hours later. This is where, well, mostly Tanyan is waiting. He asks for Diedrich if he wants to talk. Diedrich says sure, why not. This is where Tanyan asks if mostly Issei is going to wake up anytime soon. Diedrich right now said that he does not understand. He doesn't understand how Issei managed to awaken that power. He remembers seeing the sword mostly from Issei's memories, but other than that, he doesn't understand why Issei isn't talking to him or waking up or whatever. He just doesn't know what's happening to his partner. This is where, well, Tony says, "Okay. So, Diedrich, when are you going to reveal your true form towards him?" This is where Diedrich scoffs and says, "I'm never going to do that. He's nothing but a pervert. I'm not going to do that." Mostly Diedrich's voice started becoming feminine. This is where, well, Tawny chuckles and says, "Whatever. Whatever. Should I call you Diedrich or should I call you Ake?" This is where, well, before mostly Diedrich gets a response to tell mostly Tawny to shut up, something right now happens strange. Issei started waking up groggily. This is where his voice became deeper a little bit. He started kind of pushing his hair back. This is where, well, his soul might have fused together and might have changed and became one, but his body hasn't fully changed. This is where, well, it will change due time later. But this is where, well, he yawns enough. Well, seems that I became one once again. Yes, I can feel the power. Well, maybe I should. Oh, here's my sword. This is where he grabs the sword off of the ground, and this is where he grabs it with his right hand, which he noticed a boosted gear, which he just ignores it because, well, first of all, he doesn't care. He actually wants to find a way to actually disconnect the boosted gear from him, just entirely. He doesn't even want the boosted gear. He doesn't really need the boosted gear for anything. He just doesn't care. Does it work well? Right now, Issei is thinking right now in his head, should he just cut off the boosted gear from his arm? I mean, that was the same arm that mostly he sacrificed Dietrich into, or mostly gave Dietrich. But other than that, if he just takes it off, then he should be able to separate the link connection from mostly both him and Dietrich. This is where Issei decides to go up to literally a stone. He's still next to Tawny, which he hasn't even noticed. He didn't care too much. This is where Dietrich says, "Ah, partner." This is where his voice became back to deeper instead of being feminine. This is where right now Dietrich says, "So, how's your resting time? What are you doing?" This is where, Issei said, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm gonna cut you off by taking you out of my body by cutting off that arm." This is where Dietrich says, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" This is where Tawny winds his eyes. Tawny says, wait, kid, don't do anything crazy." This is where, right now Dietrich is horrified, ever hearing what his partner is just trying to do. This is where, right now making him horrified. He never expected that from Issei. Issei yawns and says, "Oh, shut up already. Besides, either you give back my arm and somehow move on to another fucking house, or piss off and stop bothering me." This is where, mostly Dietrich wind his eyes and never expecting this. This is where, she actually became a little bit sad in the fact that mostly some partner of hers, who was actually a pervert, decided to just discard her. This is where, making her kind of saddened. She started kind of feeling a little bit sick, but not much. She didn't feel too much feelings to mostly Issei, but this is where, she liked mostly Issei from the fact that he had a determination look half the time, but not the perverted look that much. This is where, mostly hearing how Issei rather discard her from basically just being an annoying nuisance to him, but yeah. Tawny is right now trying to distract Issei from actually cutting off the arm. This is where, Issei looks at Tawny, and this is where, Issei looks at him with such an emotionless look, and this is where Issei scoffs and says, "Why the fuck am I here even bothering right now? Whatever. Get out of my body, Dietrich. I don't care." This is where Dietrich says, "Shut up already." This is where, right now making Issei kind of stop. This is where, Dietrich says, "Shut up, shut up, shut up. You need me, you know that? Because you were supposed to be the destined rival to fight against mostly the White One. Why are you going to discard me now? Do you not want to fight the White One?" That's where, Issei thinks about it and says, "I do want to fight the White One. I do actually want to kick the shit out of him. But I don't want to do it with your power. I'd rather kill him by myself." This is where I'm making both Tawny and Dietrich hear what Issei said. He would rather kill Vali by himself, which they think Vali is actually, mostly Issei thinks Vali's a dude, because when it was a battle between mostly both Vali and Issei, Vali had always his armor on, so no one actually knew that he was actually a female. Well, mostly certain people, like Dietrich actually noticed that Vali was actually a girl, and mostly Azo, who is truly mostly the father figure of mostly Vali, was actually known as Valerina, but mostly no one knew about that because she basically says Vali instead of, mostly Valerina, but not the point. This is where, Dietrich says, "So you rather fight him without me? You were supposed to be my destined rival. Not my destined rival, my destined partner. You did literally the impossible. You right now take half of your life, right now kind of putting in the freaking dividing divide into mostly the boosted gear. You're the only host that I ever had that actually done that." Now, of course, Dietrich's voice is starting to become a little bit more feminine, because she's actually upset, angry, and annoyed at the fact that Issei rather discard her entirely. This is where, right now making Issei kind of narrow his eyes and says, "Okay, whatever. Fine, I won't discard you." This is where, right now, Dietrich had a little bit of hope in his, mostly her voice, until Issei says, "But don't piss me off when I'm in a battle. Right now, I'm going to figure out how to seal half a bit of my powers. Or not bit my powers. Should probably not do that. Because if I can remember right, from Zaraki's memories, He had a very tough time when he keeps doing that. So I know I shouldn't do something like that. But then again, it would scare the shit of a lot of people. So maybe I should do that. Yeah, surprise fucking power boost. Yes. Yeah, that's what I should do. That's where Issei right now has a vicious grin appear on his face, while mostly his eyes were closed. Right now making mostly Dietrich right now terrified of that look. And even what's it called, Tawny, because Dietrich has actually seen that look on none other than her rival, most like rival partner of her life. Or mostly, not her partner, but mostly her best friend slash rival. That being Albion. Also known as, well, yeah, Albion's actually a girl, but not the point. This is where, well, she has seen that look because mostly all dragons has it. It's a vicious kind of predatory kind of look most of the time. This is where, well, Issei kind of just says, other than that, that's what I should do. Yes. Well, other than that, fine. I'm just gonna be going off and going to go fight strong ass people. This is where, well, right now Tawny says, hold up. You haven't even finished our training. I can't just let you kind of go off and do whatever on your own. You still have 2 weeks of training with me. Issei looks up and says, 2 weeks of training? Right, you can always be my punching bag. Issei right now thinks in his head. This is where Issei says, sure, why not? This is where now we go into literally 2 weeks. And literally what I meant of right now Tawny becoming Issei's punching bag, he literally became a sandbag. Because Tawny right now fireballs, even his like most powerful magical attack straight towards Issei literally just take that shit head on and didn't even care, and right now kind of blitzed the shit out of Tawny, always trying to cut his head off. Right now making Tawny horrified the fact that he will literally get his head cut off if he doesn't dodge. He instead of him like literally fucking making Issei's training a living hell, he literally did a fucking Uno reverse card and literally made Tawny's life a living hell with Issei. That's how mostly Tawny's just terrified of Issei. Issei is not a dragon. He's also not considered to be a devil no more, but instead a straight up Shinigami who doesn't give a damn. This is where Issei says, come back here, you damn bastard. This is where, oh, right now Tawny is running away right now. We go into both Tawny and Issei. Tawny says, get away from me. This is where he's flying up in the air, but this is where Issei is literally jumping on air and saying, get back here. We're not finished with our training. Get back here. This is our spar. It's a battle to the fucking death. Get your ass back over here. Tawny said, get away. This is where, well, mostly Dietrich is sweat dropping at this because she has just been seeing this. And of course, she hasn't right now shown her true self, mostly shown that she's actually a female, not a male. But of course, she's a little scared in what will happen with Issei and mostly her relationship. Instead of mostly the relationship becoming stronger and becoming mostly like a host, like a friend to mostly friend, it actually became less friendly to friend. Mostly it became to the point of mostly Issei never using the boosted gear. Yeah, Issei refuses to use the boosted gear because he doesn't care. He doesn't see right now Dietrich as a tool, which makes mostly makes Dietrich actually happy because all her other hosts right now sees her as mostly a tool. But instead, Issei sees nothing in Dietrich's help or any of that. Right now, seeing mostly Dietrich as actually an annoying kind of pest most of the time, which makes mostly Dietrich even more saddened with that. She'd rather be kind of used as a tool because at least it will be actually somewhat friendly to talk to. But mostly Issei doesn't talk to her at all. Nothing. Literally, he stays silent. Every time Dietrich tries to talk to mostly Issei just stays quiet or somehow just mutes Dietrich. But yeah, by putting earbuds in his fucking ear and start hearing music. But yeah, he doesn't care. Literally makes Dietrich saddened all the time. Because it seems the relationship between him and mostly her has actually decreased entirely. Also, the fact that mostly there's a bonus part to this, which she actually became a little bit saddened with the bonus part, is because Issei stopped being a pervert entirely. He became more of a vicious killer who doesn't care at all. Literally, both Tawny and Issei went on a mission together to kill some like rogue devils. And Tawny wanted to teach Issei that killing is supposed to be helping. And what Issei did is literally rush into the fucking stray devils and didn't care one bit. Hack, slash, and cut their heads off entirely. He didn't care one bit. He was on that demon time. He did not give a fuck or a shit. He didn't give a damn about if they plead for help or mercy. He literally made a pile of fucking bodies. This is where right now making Issei right now kind of like have this murderous look in his eyes. Right now making Tani horrified and scared, even making Diedrich horrified and scared. Because Issei fought like an actual like vicious warrior murderer killer. He didn't even care. He didn't even care if he gets hit by them because he literally just slashed them apart. But yeah, he did not care. This is where, well, he did dodge some of the attacks that were supposed to hit him vital organs. But after that, he just didn't care that much. This is where, well, mostly all the wounds that he has on his body kind of heal over time. It wasn't during, actually mostly Diedrich and Tani widened their eyes when they found out that mostly Issei has still no magic. It still has like little magic capacity. But mostly they realized that his wounds heal. Not because of the demonic energy or the draconic energy. Actually, Issei said entirely that he's not actually a devil or a mostly demon. He is kind of human, but at the same time, he is a soul reaper. He did say that he was a Shinigami one time, but this is where, well, both of them tried to kind of ask him more questions until Issei just completely ignored them entirely. And didn't actually said anything further, but yeah. This is where, well, also Issei's clothing there changed to that of mostly first season Zaraki Kapachi's drip. Yeah, mostly at that time when he meets fucking Ichigo, but yeah. Also, Issei's hair became longer and had bells, but yeah. Also, yes, he does have the iconic eye patch. He actually did ask Ajuka for the eye patch. Now, Ajuka was a little bit kind of intimidated with Issei's height and growth, and of course, Tani being there. Of course, well, mostly a very angry kind of bluish haired girl actually appeared. She was actually kind of mostly she usually is in the, what's it called, familiar forest, but she was actually there to actually talk to Ajuka, but mostly her name is, well, none other than, what's it called, Tiamat. Now, Tiamat was angry at the fact that she found Diedrich, also known as, well, Diedrich, well, she does know that Diedrich is a female, but yeah. She found out that a while after mostly both Diedrich and Albion was sealed, but yeah. She was very angry and upset that she went after another female dragon. Which when she found mostly both both Issei, who is actually, his last name is no longer Issei Hyodo, but instead Issei Kampachi, because he changed that shit to a badass more last name. But this is where, well, he is also with, mostly he was with Tani and of course Ajuka. This is where Tiamat got angry and decided to try to kill mostly Diedrich's host. This is where, well, when Tani notices, his eyes widen and horrified when noticing Tiamat. But when Tiamat got closer, she literally almost had to dodge a slash almost ripped through her freaking abdomen. This is where, well, if she did not dodge, her fucking chest or mostly her abdomen would have been cut into literally just half. This is where, well, she widened her eyes, and this is where, well, she noticed the look of Issei. Issei had this look of predatory and very murderous, vicious, killing intent half of the time releasing from his body, which an aura of the skull kind of death symbol appears behind Issei, right now scaring both Ajuka and Tiamat, right now seeing how powerful Issei is. Issei doesn't seem to right now have a care in the world, which mostly Ajuka kind of realized what Issei wanted. A suppression kind of like eye patch, which he was confused why an eye patch. But Issei said because he wanted to look complete more badass. At the same time more scary, but yeah. How else is he going to scare the shit out of his enemies? That's what he literally told fucking Ajuka. Ajuka refused to kind of do this, but at the same time he just did it anyway. This is where, well, Tiamat decided to stay away from Issei because mostly Issei had this look of touch me and you're dead. Like, he did not have any friendly aura to him. Literally, it was a murderous aura that's always around him. He had no friendly aura. The only friendly aura that he had was his right hand, and that was because of Diedrich. Other than that, everywhere else, a part of his body was murderous. Literally, touch him, look at him, or whatever, he would try to kill you. That's what she got the feeling of. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly other than that, she was horrified with him. But yeah. But we go into mostly a time skip from that. But yeah. We go into mostly a kind of time skip of getting to the Gremory mansion. But yeah. The Gremory mansion has, well, now kind of appeared in mostly Issei's view on because, well, not on, because he's actually kind of got lost in the forest, because instead of like letting, well, what's it called, not Tiamat, what's it called, Tawny give him a ride, Issei just ran off and tried to look for the fucking place and kind of got lost. Okay, he kind of has the same directions as Zoro, so yeah, he isn't gonna get travel to a different world. He's not Zoro himself, but you know, he still got some directions similar to that Zoro. But not the point. He also did get directions from a green-haired man when he was in the forest. The person says, "You need some directions." He pointed at somewhere random, which made Issei somehow get to the Gremory mansion at that point, which he should have just fucking thanked the green-haired three swordsmen. But yeah, this is where, well, yes, it's none of the Zoros is somehow getting into the extra world, but not the point. When he gets there, everyone is excited to see each other and see how they grow, other things. Mostly Asa was kind of seeing how mostly all of them approve. Which when he sees Tawny, he asks Tawny where was Issei. This is where Tawny was right now sweating bullets and saying about that. This is where Asa says, "Don't tell me you somehow lost him." If I tell you that, right now Tawny says, "You want to get angry, right? How?" This is where he says, "I made it!" This is where, well, he screams into the courtyard. And of course his voice became deeper, so of course he is a little bit completely different. This is where Tawny says, "Oh wait, he actually made it." This is where Asa says, "Okay, well let me see." This is where right now Asa takes a fucking pause. Right now everyone took a pause because, well, Issei looks completely different. Yes, Issei is the fucking height of being like 6'1". At the same time he has brownish hair, but it's almost the same color black because it's like super dark brown. But this is where, well, Issei had mostly his dark brownish eyes, who, well, not darkish brown eyes, but mostly also his eyes became dark brown, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei starts walking in, and of course, where, well, every step he steps, he probably cracks the ground on accident, but this is where he doesn't care. This is where Issei's wearing the fucking drip of a Shinigami Division captain, well, mostly a 10th Division captain, but this is where, well, he doesn't have the symbol of the 10th Division, but this is where, well, he's right now grinning with such a vicious grin, saying, "Sup?" This is where, well, he looks at Asa with such a vicious grin, right now making Asa takes almost a step back. Tawny says, "So I should mention what exactly happened. This is literally Issei, the new improved Issei, and good luck with him. I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with him. So bye, Asa." This is where Tawny flies away, and this is where Asa says, "Wait, Tawny." Okay, well, shit. Hey, Issei, it's been a while. It's been over like 2 weeks. So how has your training been? Oh, pretty fun. I just been using what's it called? Tawny as literally a punching bag. This is where, well, right now making Asa say, "Oh, wait, what? Did he just say that you used that dragon as a punching bag? He's a dragon king." And I didn't care. If I had my fucking way, I would have cut his head off. Right now, Azo gulps in an instant, seeing how Issei was literally having no care in his tone of voice. Right now, scaring the shit out of the Gremory Proj also. Right now, making Gasper almost hide in his box entirely because his, well, brother figure right now changed entirely. He was less with the caring, like the whole, like, being caring, gentle, and other shit. He was now cold, murderous. He didn't give a damn at all. He changed for the best. Because, yeah. This is where Rhea says, "Issei!" This is where, right now, Rhea rushes up to him until Issei said, "What the fuck are you doing?" This is where, well, Issei literally just said that to Rhea. Rhea says, "What do you mean? I'm hugging you." Issei says, "I don't want to hug. I just want to go inside, go to my room, and fall asleep. Because Diedrich has been nothing but pestering me and annoying me." This is where, well, making Diedrich right now pop out in the sacred gear, starts crying, and right now asking mostly Azo for some help and advice and other things. This is where, well, making right now Azo and everyone kind of switch off. Azo says, what kind of advice do you need?" This is where, well, Diedrich kind of asking how to basically become friends again with Issei because Issei has changed so much. And he's just crying. This is where, well, mostly making Azo switch off and says, "Issei, you can't be telling me that you have been neglecting Diedrich." Issei says, "Oh, that's exactly what I have been doing. I didn't even train with the boosted gear." "Fuck that. Don't need that. I don't care. Is there some way to remove it? Because actually, I'd rather take that Rainer way where she ripped out the sacred gear from my body because I don't give a damn. I'll give it to her and then cut her down. Done." This is where, well, right now, as the SWAT drops us after hearing one of his subordinates, or mostly rogue subordinates' names come out of Issei's mouth. And yes, Issei is not traumatized by Reiner because instead, he'd rather kill Reiner. This is where, well, instead of being traumatized by any girl or any girl trying to manipulate his heart, he'd rather kill them in an instant for even trying to get close to him. He does not care. He literally is on demon time. 24-7. But yeah. But we go into mostly a time skip of, well, everyone kind of getting ready for mostly the young double kind of meeting. But yeah, and also Odin being there. But yeah. When everyone is kind of getting there, this is where, well, Rias kind of tells Issei not to do anything like perverted or embarrassing. This is where Issei looks at her and just didn't give a damn. Like, what kind of perverted shit is he going to be doing? Issei says, so you don't want me to peep on any girls, you don't want me to look at them, you don't want me to look at their oppa or any of that. Is that correct? This is where Rias nodded. Good. Can I also fucking rip, kill, murder, and slaughter? And this is where he goes on to details and what he else would rather do. Right now making Rias horrified after hearing all that. This is where making all the Gremory Parage right now like stiffen after hearing that. This is where Issei says, so you don't want me to be a pervert, but you're okay for me being a murderer. Good job. Let's go do this. Hell yeah, I'm gonna kill whoever pisses me off. Issei starts walking forward. And of course he gets lost, but not the point. Also, Issei is not wearing a fancy suit or any of that shit. He doesn't even care about wearing the uniform. He's wearing straight up his fucking clothing. Right now, Akano did try to like change his clothing. But of course, his Ryoto exploded from his body right now, scaring and stunning the shit out of Akano. Right now, making her fear Issei. Instead of like having cute hearts for mostly her kohai, she actually fears Issei entirely. He changed. He didn't care no more. He is no longer the nice, perverted, gentle person. He is more like a killer machine, ripping bastard half the time. Also, when Azia kind of got close to him and tried to be friendly with him, Issei just doesn't find her any more cute or having the will to protect her. Mostly that feeling of protection. Because she's like a dragon tamer, yeah, whatever. Issei really just seen her as the most annoying brat. Like, literally saw her as an annoying brat. Other than that, he just didn't care. It was literally annoying him. But yeah, he put on earbuds just to kind of block her out. Gasper was also annoying because literally he was... Yeah, of course, mostly Issei did get remember, or mostly Gasper reminded him of one of the, what's it called, members of the 10th Division captain, or mostly the 10th Division, but mostly the 10th Division, and remind him of that guy who's always trying to act beautiful or whatever, but yeah. Which mostly Issei got reminded about him, but not much. Or not the point. But this is where, well, everyone else was very scared of even talking to Issei. Right now, Konako was horrified the fact that Issei changed. He didn't actually seem to care too much. He's no longer a pervert, which she's happy, but of course she's actually fearing for the fact that Issei has become much more merciless, ruthless, and didn't care. That actually reminded her straight up of her sister. This is where, well, which she actually became way too distant from Issei. Which Issei notices, but didn't seem to care at all. Like, Issei can become a stray at any time and point. Like, who's going to stop him? Fucking Sursex can literally go fuck off because I don't think he's gonna go fight against a fucking beast rage. What's it called? Not beast rage. Mostly a very murderous killing person that seems not to care and has the instinct to kill every single day. But yeah. But this is where, well, Sursex was surprised of Issei's new look when they kind of went and meet up to the young doublings. But before that, we go into mostly them somehow getting to that place thanks to mostly Tawny and the others kind of like giving them a ride. But yeah, some of the other dragons. But Issei he got lost and somehow got directions here. He got helped by another green hair person. Well, not a green hair person, the same green hair person. This time Issei thanked the person. So yeah, mostly Issei got here somehow. Faster than anyone else, but yeah. That is not, it's like, doesn't make sense, but he just got here faster than anyone else, but yeah. So this is where, well, Issei is walking in right now into the, into the place. And this is where, well, right now seeing Rias and the others land down. Even what's called Sona was there. This is where Sona wind her eyes and say, Rias, I didn't know you got another Parage member. This is where, well, which basically Sona saw Issei and for some reason got a cold shiver down her spine. because Issei wasn't wearing anything fancy, nice, or any of that. Instead, he looked like he didn't care. He was always on that demon time. Right now, making Sanji look for Issei and doesn't wear it well. Rhea says, I didn't get a new Parage member. If we're talking about Issei, yeah, that's how Issei's new look appeared. Don't question him. He became more cold and ruthless. But it seems you got 2 new Parage members. Sona says, yeah, those are the Kennel girls. This is where, we'll see Reyes notice the 2 Kennel girls being the 2 kind of Kennel leaders, well, vice captains of the Kennel squad, but yeah. This is where, well, both, Cataris and, not Cataris, Catace and also what's it called, Moriyama kind of noticed, Kiba, and of course they were flocking towards him saying, Kiba, Kiba, Kiba. This is where Kiba says, hi. I didn't know you became devils. This is where, well, both of them say, we did not know you were devil. But God, you're handsome. This is where they go on and on and on. This is where, well, making Kiba kind of a little bit have a, well, see, a smile, a gentle smile. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei on the other hand, he was just walking away. But yeah, he didn't care. He literally didn't care. He didn't care about this whole goddamn meeting. He just cared about fighting someone strong. But this is where, well, when they were about to walk into mostly the place where all the young devils are at, this is where, well, Rias kind of was about to say something to Issei. This is where, well, Sanji was actually confused on where Issei was at, but he didn't notice that the big, tall-ass man was Issei. But yeah, he just thought it was a new Parage member. Both Cataris and even Moriyama got scared and hide behind mostly not Sanji. Well, yeah, Sanji and Kiba, because the tall, scary man that Rias had is literally the scariest hell. He also does have a scar in his eye, which they haven't noticed. This is literally Issei, but not the point. This is where, well, when they walk in, they see 2 devils right now fighting. One that's right now a female, and the other one is a cocky kind of like male devil. This is where, well, the male devil says, a bitch like you should be serving me. Yeah. This is where, well, the other person says, you know, if this is where, well, whatever, original canon, I forgot what they said, but I don't care too much. This is where, well, before anything happens, this is where, well, someone appears right now, stopping both of them by punching the male devil and knocking him out. Right now through a wall. Right now making Issei have this vicious grin on him. Well, appear on him. This is where, well, making the person kind of switch up after seeing, well, mostly Issei kind of has a vicious grin on him. But this is where, well, right now the person says, Rias, and also Sona. You 2 look lovely as ever. This is where they see the bulky man. And of course, it's none other than what's it called? Sir Orcus Bell. This is where, well, mostly the both of them say, yes. This is where, well, Rhea says, cousin. While Sona kind of says, thank you, Bell, for actually stopping that whole battle. This is where, well, both, right now, Rhea and, well, Sir Orcus kind of hugs. And of course, everyone is kind of just switch up at this. But yeah. This is where, well, Sir Orcus kind of noticed a person who's tall and seems to be quite powerful. This is where, well, Sir Orcus kind of walks in front of mostly Issei, and they all seem the same height. This is where, well, Sir Orcus says, so, Rias, who's your Parage member? This is where, well, Rias says, I forgot to mention this. This is Issei here. This is where, well, Issei says, the name's Issei Kampachi. And you're Sir Orcus Bell, right? This is where, well, making Sir Orcus nod it and says, you must be the Red Dragon Emperor. Interesting. I thought your last name started with a H, not a K. You mistake me way too much, kid. But other than that, the name is Kampachi, also known as, well, you can call me Issei or Zaraki, doesn't matter. But Kampachi is my last name. Bell. This where, well, right now making Sir Orcus nod and says, okay. Well then, Zaraki, this is where, well, Issei says, hell yeah, pick that name. Yes, Issei is going to think to change his first name to Zaraki, but yeah. Just to become just a full version of both Zaraki and him, but yeah. This is where, well, right now making everybody widen their eyes. Even right now, Sanji and even what's it called, like the others kind of widen their eyes, like both Catherine and even Moriyama. Right now, everyone kind of heard the last name because he literally fucking changed that entirely. He's also thinking of changing his first name. This is where, well, making Sir Orcus kind of talks to Issei. And this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of asks Sir Orcus for a friendly battle. Somewhat. A nice battle right now, right here. This is where, well, making everyone pale at the fact that Issei asked mostly Sir Orcus for a battle. Sir Orcus right now thinks in his head and saying, Well, I would like to have a battle, but right now there's a meeting here, so I can't really have a battle with you. Issei scoffs and says, no fun. Whatever, I'll be going off then. Issei puts on his earbuds and walks away, but yeah, he's hearing the song called, well. So the song he's hearing is called Feel Something, made by these three creators. And of course, he starts hearing the song and just walking away, but yeah. I don't pray to God, but I did today, just to take a minute of the pain away. 'Cause I'm scared that I believe in nothing. Am I on my own? I don't wanna break, but I did today. Guess I only have myself to blame. Should I have let go? Not the point, but yeah. But mostly Issei starts walking away, not caring too much, but yeah. Other than that, I'm going to leave it off here for mostly part 1. I wanted to get to a part, but right now I'm actually getting tired. And I'd rather kind of, take a shower and other things because, yeah, I got to wake up tomorrow early and I really don't want a 3-hour sleep again. But other than that, bye. So, yeah. Also, my legs stop hurting. Yay! Probably. It's probably going to hurt tomorrow, but not the point. Bye.